Man, Derek Andre, and you're watching Who is Derek Andre TV on YouTube. And what happened to all the slow jams? This is Totally Disgusted with your host, Derek Andre. What's up, y'all? It's your man, Derek Andre, and you're watching Who is Derek Andre TV. And if I turn my microphone on, that would probably help you hear me. Today on Totally Disgusted, we're going to talk about slow jams. Where have they gone? Slow jams. Now, if you're watching this video and you are under the age of about 30, you're probably asking yourself, what is a slow jam? What is the quiet storm? So slow jams and the quiet storm were slow songs that were basically what you would call a ballad, where it's romantic. It's heartfelt. It comes from the soul. It's for lovers. It's for men who love their women and women who love their men. It's for people who love each other. Slow jams are what, when you fall in love, that song that you play, that you're like, oh man. Every time I hear this song, I think about my baby. Slow jams are the backbone of my upbringing, my growing up, my history. So I'm from St. Louis. And every night it started out on Magic 108 FM. They used to have The Quiet Storm with Doc Winters. And basically, The Quiet Storm was songs that was a slow tempo, a groove. It wasn't vulgar. It was romantic. And on The Quiet Storm show, you could call in and you could dedicate a song to that person that you love. Now, when you were in high school and stuff like that, you young, that was like the highlight. That's back in the day when we still had phones with cords on them and landlines. And, you had to pick the phone up. It had a dial tone. You had to push the button and you had to wait. You had to memorize people's phone numbers. That's back in the day when we first started getting three-way calling. And there would be a whole bunch of us on the phone. And we would call into the radio station. And they would answer the phone. And you could request a song. Now, The Quiet Storm went from 9 until midnight. Monday through Friday. And then on Sundays, it went from 7 until midnight, I believe. It was a long time on Sundays. But songs and slow jams and stuff like that don't exist anymore. You know what I mean? It seems like everything is just fast and freaky. We had songs like Ribbon in the Sky and by Stevie Wonder, Sweet Love by Anita Baker, Between the Sheets by the Isley Brothers. Lord, if Between the Sheets came on, ding, 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 ding. Man, I wish I could sing. If Only You Knew by Patti LaBelle. These were singers, man. They could actually sing. They didn't care about whether they could dance or not. They didn't care about none of that stuff, man. They wanted you to be able to sing, to be able to arouse the people that are listening to the song, man. My man Keith Sweat, Make It Last Forever. Jodeci, Forever My Lady. Maxwell. Jill Scott. I'm just keeping it up. But it seemed like in about the mid to late 2000s, music and slow jams began to be a thing of the past. Used to be able to go to parties. Used to be able to go to nightclubs and parties and stuff like that. And a good DJ knew the perfect amount of music that was fast. Because you had fast songs and you had slow songs. Fast songs would be like hip hop. It would be like, back then it'd be like Run DMC. It'd be like DMX. It'd be like, Will Smith, LL Cool J, Wu-Tang Clan. That would be considered fast, upbeat songs. You would go out and you could go to the club, you'd be at the party, you'd be dancing, you'd be getting your groove on. But then the DJ would come over the microphone and say, we about to slow it down. And you knew when the DJ said, we about to slow it down, that you better find yourself somebody to slow dance with. You ain't want to be the one standing up against the wall, sitting at the table by yourself, while everybody else on the dance floor, everybody dancing, man. They all embraced, man. That was your opportunity to just get close to the little cutie that you've been eyeing all night. Both male and female. Ladies, y'all be looking at a dude, y'all be like, ooh, I wish I could. Dudes be like, oh man, I'd love to get her number. Her number. We wasn't asking for no Instagrams. We wasn't trying to get your Snapchat. We had to get your number. And in most cases, we had to remember your number. Man, I had a mental Rolodex filled with phone numbers for so many years because we didn't have no cell phones that you could just, type the number in and hit save. And we didn't have no social media where you could just go to Instagram or whatever, TikTok, No, man. You had to ask that person for their phone number and then you had to remember it. And you would be heartbroken if you got home and you remember them numbers. Now you might have a pen and paper because everybody carried a little pen and paper. So you might have to, jot it down real quick. Let me get that number. Let me get your number. Oh, what is it? 314? Okay, 653. Okay. And then you write it down. But you was going to have to remember that number because eventually you're going to lose that piece of paper. And if that was the person that you was truly interested in and you lost the number, guess what? You out of luck. You're going to FAFO. That's what's going to happen to you. You're going to find out. But when them slow jams came on, that was your opportunity to find that young lady or that young man, make your way across the club or across the party, ask them to dance, and dance with them. And you was going to be respectful. Yes, you're going to be slow dancing, so y'all will be embracing and stuff like that. But, unless y'all already had a relationship, you ain't going to be grabbing all on their booty or nothing like that. You're going to put your arm around her waist and you're going to dance. She's going to lay her head on your chest if you're a dude or if you're a lady, you're going to lay your head on his chest. Y'all going to dance. We danced to slow jams, man. That's before all that auto-tune and all of this other stuff. Back in the day, a slow jam artist, a singer, had to know how to write a song, or the writers for them had to know how to write a song, because back then there was just certain stuff that you couldn't say on the radio. There, the FAA rules, or FA. What's FAA? Future Farm. That's the FAA. You had to know what you could and couldn't say. You couldn't just be, making a song and just say anything and think you was gonna get some radio play. As an artist, you had to be very careful and creative about what you were saying, because they didn't have nobody bleeping songs, and they didn't have all this censorship and all this other stuff that you had. You just had to write a good song that they could play from start to finish. And if you was a good love song singer, a good slow jam artist, they was going to play that song and they could play it from start to finish. And you would sit there as the listener, listening to Tyrese. Believe it or not, I know y'all only know him from like Fast and the Furious, but Tyrese could sing a slow jam. You would have to sit there, listen to the song, listen to the lyrics, and then you would have to decode what they were saying, because they couldn't say certain things. If they was talking about making love, they couldn't just say, give me that, or we gonna F tonight. They couldn't say that kind of stuff. So they had to be very creative about how they sang their songs if they wanted to get airplay. They had to be creative when they were writing those songs if they wanted to get airplay. It was an art to write a slow jam. It was an art to sing a slow jam. You had to be able to sing. Musical artists nowadays, singers nowadays, they have so many computers in them studios to touch your voices up. You know how you could tell the difference between an old school singer and a new school artist? An old school singer can sing and keep singing when the music stops. These new artists, a lot of them can't do that. There are a few that have the ability to be able to sing when the music stops. If there's like some kind of malfunction and they doing a show, they can keep singing through the malfunction, while the tech squad and technical support is back there in the back trying to get the monitors back on and do. A real singer back in the day could sing, and they could sing through all of that. These new singers, man, I don't know about that. Teddy Pendergrass, Luther Vandross, Freddie Jackson, Frankie Beverly and Mays, Alexander O'Neal. Listen, if y'all ever bored, young folks, if y'all ever bored, this is what y'all need to do, man. Y'all need to go to YouTube and just type in slow jams. Y'all need to go to YouTube and type in slow jams so that you can see what I'm talking about. You'll see faces like this. These was regular ass looking people, man. It wasn't no whole bunch of over the top stuff. They was regular looking people, man, but they could sing, man. Teddy Pendergrass used to have women throwing their drawers on stage. The Isley Brothers, they used to have full band. It'd be a whole bunch of them. I forgot how many of them it was, man. But when the Isley Brothers showed up, Earth, Wind, and Fire groups like that, they would come on stage, man. They had a band. They was gonna play. We had groups like Ready for the World, Jagged Edge. We had groups that sang, man. And when it was time to slow it down, they could slow it down. And I think that's part of the problem that I have with a lot of music nowadays. They don't know how to slow it down. You still got the few people like Alex Isley and stuff and people like that. And, you know, you got these some young singers that are starting to go back to what a slow jam is. But a lot of this music, man, it ain't slow jams. And if they do slow it down, there's so much profanity in it that you cannot even enjoy the actual song. The amazing part of the music from the 70s, 80s, 90s, because I had to start with 70s. I was born in 70s. So the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the very, very, very edge of the early 2000s was you ain't hear a whole lot of cussing. You might hear cussing and stuff in the hip hop. You was going to hear cussing in the hell. It was going to be, you know, it was going to be B this and H that and all this kind of F this and F. You was going to hear the cussing in the hip hop. But when a slow jam came on, you ain't going to hear no more cussing, man. Like I was saying before, a good DJ knew how to read the party. He was going to play maybe about 4, maybe 5 fast songs. And then he going to slow it down to about 3 good long slow jams, man. Where you can slow it down, man, and you can actually talk because the music ain't that loud. It's still bumping, but it ain't that loud. You can have a conversation. You could be whispering and learning about the girl that you crushing on or the dude that you crushing on. Y'all could actually have a conversation out there on the dance floor. I was reading a post on social media the other day. They was talking about how bad clubs done got because everything is a section now. Ain't no dance floor, especially in black clubs. Ain't no dance floor. Everything is section now. Everybody just want to drink. Everybody want to fight and all that. Man, wasn't nobody having time to be fighting back in the day. Yes, fights broke out. It was a rare occasion. If it did, it happened outside. We was trying to push up on folks, man. The dudes wanted the girls and the girls wanted the guys. Everybody was trying to find them a significant other, even if it was only for one night. Nowadays, man, this younger generation, and I sound like an old ass man when I say this, but this younger generation, y'all don't get it. Y'all don't understand the power of romance. Y'all don't understand the power of being sensual and subtle, sultry. I challenge you. I challenge you to go and listen to some of these artists, man. Just type in slow jams on YouTube. And just let the playlist run, man. Just let the playlist run. Just just start it. Y'all don't see it even with y'all music nowadays. We can listen to a whole ass album. If we put in a cassette tape or a CD, we would listen to the entire album. Wasn't no just jumping between tracks. We would listen to the entire album, start to finish, because we were listening to artists who took pride in their craft, man. And that whole album would be fire. You could sing the whole album word for word. You can't really do that nowadays, man. I mean, you listen to these young folks when they listening to stuff. If they don't have their AirPods in or their earbuds or whatever, you listen to how they listen to music. They get about to the hook, and then they on to something else. Man, my daughters be in the car with me sometimes, and they be like, "Can we play our music?" I'll be like, "Lord Jesus, I'm not gonna hear an entire song for the entirety of this trip." They gonna jump from song to song to song to song to song. We ain't listen to music like that because we didn't have to. There was a difference between an R&B singer and a hip hop artist. I typed in slow what did I type? What was my search? Let me see. What did I search? Current how how did I type that? Current. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna pull it up. Current slow jams. Current. That's what I put. Current R&B slow jams. No, that ain't what I put. I put current R&B. Current. Wait a minute. Current. What did I type? Current R&B ballad. Okay, that's what I typed in. Current R&B. Let me pull this up so y'all can see. Current R&B ballads. This is who they put up there. And I'm not knocking none of these artists for what they do. SZA got a beautiful voice, but I would not put SZA as a slow jam artist or ballad. I don't even know who Mariah the Scientist is. Tiana Taylor bringing it back. If y'all ain't checked out her latest, she got a video album on there. It's called on YouTube. I forgot what it's called, but it's dope. It's like 38, 40 minutes long. It's good though. Tiana Taylor trying to bring back some slow jam. She cussed a little bit in it, but the overall concept is there. Kalani, I don't know who that is. Coco James and Alicia Keys. I don't even know who these people are. I'm not saying that they not slow jams, but they ain't the kind of slow jams that I'm thinking of. One of the lists had Drake on it. I know damn well Drake ain't no slow jam artist. Drake is not a slow jam artist, man. I wish that slow jams would come back in style. I wish that they would play legit. Because I think a lot of these young folks could benefit from a good slow jam session. I wish that nightclubs would go back to having dance floors. Screw all these sections and bottle service and all of this. I wish they would go back to having dance floors. Where a few years ago, I'm not a club person, but a few years ago, this was probably the last time I went to a club. It was like maybe, and I think this is when it was really starting to get bad as far as, you know, just boring club life nights and stuff. Went to the club. It was for a bachelor party for one of my friends. Got to the club, and you would have thought Moses was in there parting the Red Sea. All the dudes was on one side. All the females was on the other side. The floor was wide open. Wasn't nobody dancing. Music playing. Nobody is dancing. I came over to my boy. I said, man, what the hell is going on in here? How come ain't nobody dancing? And we stayed for like almost an hour just to see. People came and went. Nobody was dancing. It's a black club. So we left there and we went down the street. This was a mixed club. You know, in other countries they say they don't differentiate clubs by ethnicity. They differentiate clubs by music genre. So you got like house club, you got, you got like electronic music, nightclub, dance club, stuff like that. Well, we from St. Louis, we didn't have all of that. It was either black club, white club, or a mixed club. So we went to a mixed club down the street. They was in that mud, tearing it up. They was having a ball. I mean, a straight up ball. They were having a good time. They were dancing and partying. And I thought to myself, man, what is wrong with us? But I'm going to tell you, we ain't got no slow jams. If you want to hear a good slow jam, you have to literally go back in time. You got to go back to like it's like a good family TV show. You got to go back to like the 90s to get a really good family TV show, like more than just Blackish. I like Blackish, but it can't be the only show. And so when you want to hear good slow jams, you got to go backwards. You got to go back 10 years or more, 15, 20 years. I wish that I could play music on this live stream so that you could hear it. Those of you that are in my demographic already know. I ain't telling y'all nothing new. Y'all already know. That music back in the day, man, they called it baby making music. Because if you was going to get with your woman or get with your dude, you had a playlist, you had a cassette tape, and you had the names of the songs written on the cassette tapes, or it just said something like slow jams. And if you're wondering what a cassette tape looks like, let me show you. Let me show you what a cassette tape looks like. Let me show you what a cassette tape looks like. Let me see. All right, let me show you here. Cassette. How you spell cassette? Cassette tape. Let me show you what a cassette tape look like. Images. This is what a cassette tape looks like. Just in case you ain't never seen one. I don't know how old you are watching this. This is what a cassette tape looks like. So in these white areas, you had to write down the name of what was ever on that cassette tape. That's how you knew what you was listening to. So you could write down, the whole song. The whole album of, or you could write down a lot of the different songs that was on said cassette tape. And then on top of this, so you had to put effort into being romantic back in the day. This is what you had to record on, because you'd have to record your music onto the cassette. Look at this. This is the kind of stuff we had back in the day. You would have to take like an old boom box like this, or old cassette player like this one down here, and you would have to hold it to the radio, and you would push this red button and the black button next to it. And that is how you recorded the music on your cassette tape. Then, if you had a little bit of money and you wanted to walk around and listen to some of your jams, you had one of these. You had a Sony Walkman. This was long before iPods and AirPods and all of this other stuff. This is what we had. You had to put the cassette tape in there, and then from cassette tapes, they went to CDs, CD-ROMs, and all of that, and you know what a CD is. Everybody know what a CD is, but a lot of y'all don't know what a cassette tape is. But yeah, back in the day, we used to have to hold the cassette player up to the radio and record our music onto the tape player. And you had to pay attention. You had to legitimately pay attention, because you needed to know what the music sounded like. So when your song came on, if you didn't already have it recorded, so when your favorite song came on, you had to be ready to hit record, and everybody in the room had to be their ass quiet, because the cassette player didn't just record what was going on the radio. It recorded everything around you. If you had the ones like this that's on the screen now, if you had ones like the ones at the bottom, like these and stuff like this, if you had ones that looked like this, yeah, you had to be your ass quiet. Everybody around had to be quiet, because that was going to pick up every single thing around you. But when you got a little, you got a little more technologically inclined, and you got yourself like a little boom box or a little single radio like this one down here at the left corner, then you could push record, and it would just record what the radio was playing. It didn't record your background noise. Man, we done came a long way. You had to truly love music to want to go through all of that just so you could listen to your favorite songs a little later on. Or if you had that special someone and you really was digging them, you would take the time to make, that's where the whole term mixtape came from. You would take the time to create a mixtape. You would literally wait for your song to come on the radio, And you had to make sure that your cassette was where it needed to be so that you wasn't recording over nothing else. And you would have to record your music. And because you were recording a mix of music, that's where the term mixtape came from. You had to really put in effort to get hold of your favorite jams. You really, really did. And if a dude liked you and he gave you a mixtape, that means he really liked you. That means he had to take the time and the effort to wait it out. Especially if he gave you a tape front and back of slow jams. And cassette tapes, you could get a cassette tape that was either 60 minutes or 90 minutes. So each side would determine, if you had a 60-minute tape, the one side would be 30 minutes. The other side would be 30 minutes. So you would have to take the tape out of the cassette player and flip the tape over so that you could finish recording, and you would always get right in the middle of your favorite song. It would be recording, and you would get to the end of the tape, and the tape thing would stop, the recorder would stop. You got to hurry up, eject it, flip it over, and try to pick it up where you left off so you don't miss too much of the song. So you had a 60-minute tape and a 90-minute tape. So the 60-minute tape had 30 minutes on one side, 30 minutes on the other. If you had a 90-minute tape, you had music galore, because that means you could have an hour and a half, hour and what's that? Hour and 15 minutes on one side, and then an hour and 15 minutes on the other side, or 40 minutes, 45. How did that work? Let me think. I'm thinking now. Hold on. I think maybe it was 45 minutes on each side. So yeah, it was 30 minutes. Oh, that's right. 30 minutes on one side. Yeah, because if it was an hour and a half, that's 3 hours. That ain't right. It was 45 minutes on one side and 45 minutes on the other side on a 90-minute tape. Sorry, my math is bad. And then if you had a 60-minute tape, you had 30 minutes on one side, 30 minutes on the other. I don't know how I came up with an hour and 15 minutes. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. I don't know what I was thinking about. But yeah, it was 45 minutes on one side and 45 minutes on the other side if you had a 90-minute tape. And if that person that you was digging was really feeling you and you was feeling them and they made you that, you know that they put some effort into that tape to make you that mixtape, to give you them slow jams. And each song was specifically crafted just for you. That means that they had to listen to the song, listen to the lyrics, understand the lyrics, and know if the lyrics actually fit their emotional attachment to you. The song had to describe to the listener what you was feeling. So you had to truly pay attention to what the artist was saying when they were singing to know if they was really, really feeling you. And if they was, this is how they showed you. They showed you with this cassette tape. Let me see something here. Hold on. Let me see something here. Let me see something here. All right. Let me see. All right. Let me pull up some lyrics so y'all can kind of see. So y'all can kind of see just what kind of lyrics you need to see with that a slow song, a slow jam has to. This is If This World Were Mine by Luther Vandross and Cheryl Lynn. Now look at the lyrics. I ain't gonna read the whole song, but it says, if this world were mine, I'd place at your feet all that I own. You've been so good to me. If this world were mine, I'd give you flowers, the birds and the bees, For with your love inside me, that would be all I need. If this world were mine, I'd give you anything. Come on, man. Those are lyrics. That is what a love song is. That's a ballad. That's a love song, man. You had to take the time to write that. And then if you was giving this song on a mixtape to somebody else, you had to listen to this whole song to know if it said exactly what you wanted to express. You had to know that. You had to know that. Look, who else on here? Let me pull somebody else. Let me pull up somebody else. Let me pull up somebody else. Let me see. We're going to pull up Maxwell. Lifetime lyrics. All right, we're going to pull up Maxwell Lifetime lyrics. I was reborn when I was broken. I wouldn't believe. No. Been through a storm. No use in hoping you would come rescue me. Somehow, your love set me free. Come on, y'all. These is lyrics, man. These is lyrics. Excuse my countryness. These is lyrics, man. And I can let my life pass me by. Or I can get down and try. Work it all out this lifetime. Work it all out this lifetime. I can let it pass me by. Or I can get down and try. Work it all out this lifetime. Lifetime. Come on, y'all. Listen. Y'all need to really bring back slow jams. Slow jams need to come back and be popular again. We need more slow jams, man. We need more romance in the world. We need less twerking. And more, what else? We need less twerking and more. I don't even know. I didn't have my Jesse Jackson moment ready. But yeah, we need romance, man. We need between men and women. We need love, man. That's why I started writing love poetry. I wanted to practice what I preach. I write love poetry. I've been writing love poetry for over 20-something years, man. And I started writing love poetry because I felt like I wanted to keep the flame alive. I wanted to keep fanning the flame of romance. And so I wrote and write love poetry. That's why. This was my influence. Songs like that, artists like that. They were my influence, man. I am a diehard romantic. I love romantic stuff. I probably won't watch too many romantic movies, but every now and then I'll sneak one in. But anything outside of that, yes. And it's not that I'm opposed to romantic movies, but it's just that I like sci-fi. Sorry. But I love a good love song. I love a good love poem. And I ain't gonna even lie. If it's a good romantic movie, you got me. I'm gonna watch it. Me and my wife. What happened to slow jams? How do we get away from playing slow jams? How do we get away from the romance? How do we get away from courting? How do we get away from love? Why must everything be drama and hunching? It's hard to listen to music nowadays, man. Even the songs that try to slow it down a little bit. It just ain't the same. There's no creativity in writing love songs anymore. You have to be creative to write a good love song that you can convey your feelings without being offensive. My first two love poetry books, I didn't cuss in them. I had to think of how to say what I wanted to do and how I felt without using profanity. That don't sound like something too challenging, but that's hard. It's hard if your vocabulary is limited. But I put forth the effort to put out books that when my readers were reading them, they didn't get to a point where they was in a groove and they was vibing. And I said something so harsh and vulgar that it turned them off. I didn't want that to be my story as an author, as a writer, as a poet. I wanted the reader to enjoy my books from cover to cover and not feel like, oh my God, this is just one big nasty pornographic book. No. Even in my book, Explicit Lyrics, stimulation for your imagination. I talk about a lot of kinky, freaky stuff in that book, but I still do it tastefully. And the only reason that I didn't include that book in my list of books that didn't have any profanity in them is because that has very little in it. So I can't claim that it doesn't have any. It doesn't have much. I think that if more artists, especially if you're going to write something that you want to be timeless, a lot of the artists from 70s, 80s, and 90s, early 2000s, a lot of the music that they make is not time stamped. A lot of the stuff that is being played now and created now by a lot of these young artists, it's a time stamp on it. It's a time stamp on it. You only gonna get so much shelf life out of songs that have vulgar lyrics. You just are. Even when I go back nowadays and I listen to some of my favorite hip hop songs from when I was coming up, even nowadays I just be like, dang, that's kind of harsh. And don't get me wrong, I cuss. I've been cussing all my life. Sorry, Mom. I've been cussing all my life. But when you go back and you listen to a lot of this music and everything is F this and this hoe and that bit and everything is fuck this and suck that and this, that, and the other, and you go on and you just get to the point where you're like, this ain't even entertaining. And then nowadays, everything is violence or drug use or the continuation of the disrespect of women and men. What happened to slow jams? Bring back slow jams. Bring back love. Bring back intimacy. Bring back courtship. Bring back emotion. Bring back creativity. Everybody wants to have sex that's old enough. But if you're going to put it in a song, be creative enough to talk. It was songs that, like, I didn't know what they were talking about until I got older. Juicy Fruit by Mtume. It's a lot of songs, man. If you just really go back and listen to them, you'll realize, wait a minute, they was talking about He was talking about getting it on. But you didn't know it because you had to know how to read between the lines. There's a whole lot of music, man, my mom wouldn't let me listen to, and I couldn't figure out why until I got older. And then I listened to it, and then I understand that, oh, wait a minute. They were speaking in code. I wasn't supposed to be. Now I understand why I wasn't supposed to be listening to this. This is how I got here. Because my mom and daddy was listening to this. I'm here because y'all was listening to, such and such and so and so. Bring back slow jams. Bring back good R&B. Bring back romantic music. Bring back creative lyrics. Bring back love. Bring back affection. Bring it all back, man. Put all of that back into play. Bring it back. If you're an artist, don't you want your music to be timeless? That's got to be every artist's greatest desire, is for their music to be timeless. If you go back and you listen to some of the songs from the 70s and anything, man. You go back and listen to Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye gonna be like, whoa, bruh. Let's get it on. Go back and listen to Smokey Robinson. Go back and listen to Al Green and all the. Go back and listen to Shirley Murdoch. Man, there's some singers back in the day that you could definitely. Isaac Hayes, Patti LaBelle, Anita Baker, Quincy Jones. Yes, Quincy Jones even had some bangers back in the day, although he was mostly known for production, but the music that he was producing. Tevin Campbell. It was so many artists, man, that just had beautiful, heartfelt music. And we need to go back to that. We need to go back to slow jams. I wish I could play some of this music in my live just so you could hear just a sample of it. But I think if I play it in my live, they might mute me or do something. I don't want to go through that. All you got to do, though, if you're interested, just go to YouTube and just type in slow jams. And just let the music take you. I'll be sure. Come on, man. Boys to Men. Jodeci. Ooh, yeah. Forever my lady. Come on, man. That's all I got for today's show. Bring back slow jams, man. What happened to them? Bring them back. Bring them back. If you enjoyed today's show, by all means, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, click subscribe and the reminder bell so you never have to miss another video. And in the comments, this is your homework. In the comments, let me know some of your favorite slow jams. Let's talk about it. Recommend some slow jams to some people that may be watching this video and may be younger than us and don't know what a good slow jam is or what a good slow jam sounds like. Recommend some music. Tell me some of your fondest memories that are attached to some of your favorite slow jams. Not all of them, though. Don't take me in your bedroom. I don't want to go in your bedroom. Let people know about the mixtape era and recording music from the radio. If you in my demographic, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's bring back them slow jams, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm Derek Andre. You're watching Who is Derek Andre TV. This has been Totally Disgusted. And this was episode number 33, I think. If you have missed previous episodes, by all means, go back and listen to some of the other episodes. They are available here on YouTube, and they are also available on wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can find them on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, I think Google Podcasts, all of them. You can find Totally Disgusted with Derek Andre on those platforms. So make sure you go and listen and tell a friend. All right. If you would like to support the channel by doing more than just viewing, please take a few minutes and swing by my website and, check out some of the stuff that I got on there that's available for sale. I got books and music and poetry and all that kind of stuff. I got some courses and things in my digital collection. I have T-shirts, 2 brands, Bomb to Billions, and autographs. So those are ways that you can actually support the channel through those purchases. All right. So yeah, that's all I got for today's show. So let me just tell y'all this. Starting Tuesday, I start a new job, and that means that I may have to abbreviate the days, and maybe not every day, but abbreviate the days that I do my show. What will probably end up happening is I will do my show on my off days. To the best of my knowledge, I'm supposed to work 4 days, 10 hours on, and then 3 days off. So if that is the case, then on those 3 days, I will be doing my podcasts. And I will upload them to YouTube. I don't know that I will be live streaming some of them, so my live streaming might have to go on hold for a little while. But, I mean, if I got to record it, I might as well just live stream it. So it just depends. But it may not be an everyday thing for a little while until I become rich and famous, because you guys were so kind to share these podcasts and purchase merchandise and stuff like that. And then I became self-sustainable. See that look? That's I'm so giddy and happy that y'all was buying all this stuff that now I'm self-sustainable. Or unless I win Powerball tomorrow night, because I think Powerball is like $950 million or something like that. I bought one ticket. It only takes one to win. I bought one ticket. So, all right. Well, thank you all so much for listening. This is Derek Andre, and you're watching Who's Derek Andre TV on YouTube. And I love you guys. Be peace, be love, be one. Remember, if you're having a bad day, you got until midnight to correct that. Even if it takes you to that last minute, from 11:59 to 12 a.m. If you only get that last minute to have a good day, take full advantage of it. All right? All right. I love y'all. Be peace, be love, be one. And I will see you in the next episode. Peace. Thanks for tuning in to Totally Disgusted. Make sure to like, comment, and tell a friend.